Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Phoenix Song Echo. This is issue number 1 of 4. You guys know I'm not a fan of the Jason Aaron universe, and I bought this thinking to myself, Comixology, thinking to myself, maybe it'll be good, whatever. I don't remember ever seeing Rebecca Roanhorse or Luca Maresca before. Let's get right into that. That's the writer and the penciler. Carlos Lopez doing the colors, and VC's Ariana Maher doing the letters, and Corey Smith and Alejandro Sanchez doing the cover art. So, Jay Bowen doing where is that? Yeah, the logo design. Always remember that. I always like Joe. I always like his designs. Anyway, so this was an interesting comic book. Let's get the art out of the way. Anytime you see Carlos Lopez, a very famous name on colors, you know that it's going to be brisk, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be bright, you're going to recognize everything, there's going to be some livelihood to it, right? He could do his own shadows and shades and lights and hues in his colors, and even if you have a horrible penciler and a nasty inker, or if they're both the same people and they're just horrible at their job, Carlos Lopez is going to do an incredible job and bring out the best in whatever it is that he's given. In this particular case, he was actually given really good stuff. Again, I haven't seen too much from Luca Maresca before. I can't think of anything offhand that Luca's done before, but I see this and I see this is crisp. These are really nice pencils. These are perfect inks in the sense that you don't see them, right? You don't want to see an ink. Right? If you're gonna see, like, I'm gonna show that this leg is in front of this leg, so I'm gonna show that the back leg is completely black, so it looks like it's the back. Okay, fine, that's cool. But it's still got to be something that you don't notice it. When you notice the inks, that's usually a problem, right? The pencils is the thing that you do want to see. You want to see all these outlines. You want to see all of this stuff, right? And you want to make sure that the blue is erased afterward, blah, 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 blah. But the pencils is typically the first thing that you see, but the first thing that you notice is always the colors. In this case, this was a great harmony between the artist, Luca, and the color artist, Carlos. The art in this comic book was absolutely fantastic. I can't make a negative criticism of the art in this in any way, shape, or form. Absolutely beautiful. You could recognize every single face in here. If you didn't see the face, you still saw who everybody was. It was fantastic. The different designs of Maya Lopez, Echo in this, exquisite. I loved it. The fiery background that you see, all of it. The energy blasts, the explosions, the slamming into things. Absolutely fantastic. If I were ever tasked with making a comic book, and I would hate to be tasked with making a comic book, this is a team that I would, if they said, okay, this is the team that's going to be brought to you, I'm like, okay, I better bring my A game then, because the art's going to be beautiful. I better not screw it up writing-wise, right? That's what would be on my mind, because this was an expert team. Rebecca Roanhorse does not let us down in the writing. This is fantastic writing. Something that has to be remembered about the Marvel Universe is that there are consequences to your actions, or at least there should be. In a good comic book with good writing, there will be consequences to everything that a hero does in some way, shape, or form at all. And that's something that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and Jim Starlin and all these greats in history have done, right? All the way up to the enforcer, the ultimate enforcer of that, Jim Shooter. They have made sure that there are consequences to their action. Hey, Phoenix blows up a planet, well, then there are consequences for that last forever. Hell, even to today with this comic book, because you saw that image in here of the 3 images of Phoenix doing something really dumb, doing something that have lasting consequences. What was the first thing they showed? And Jim Shooter made sure, even though Chris Claremont, the great Chris Claremont, said, what's the big deal? She just blew up some nonsensical planet that who cares? Jim Shooter says, no. There need to be consequences. There needs to be consequences for her blowing up a planet. There has to be. And look, there were. So now it's one of the best stories ever told. It's something that would have otherwise just flown under the radar for most people. and the people who noticed would have said, this is stupid. Because of Jim Shooter, there are everlasting consequences that actually make the Phoenix an interesting storyline instead of just some fateful thing that happened to Jean Grey. Consequences. Too important in the Marvel Universe. So when Maya Lopez walks in, and here's realistically, they're faceless freaking, it's almost like, the Batman, the animated series. Remember that intro where Batman walks in and there's these thugs that show up and they start shooting and he's bataraining people? Remember that intro? The Batman animated series? Those criminals were faceless because they didn't matter. These criminals don't really matter. Unfortunately, there's one who gets killed. And if that doesn't matter, then I've got a problem with Rebecca Roanhorse. I'm telling you that right now. Done. Conversation's over. There needs to be everlasting consequences that a hero just burned somebody. And in her mind, tried to shoot me. Yeah, but you were never in any real threat. That's something that in law, I don't currently practice immigration law, but I am an expert in immigration law up here in Canada. And the same exact rules apply in America too. There's such thing as inalienable rights. So whether you're a citizen or an alien or even an illegal alien, if you are within the shores of so-and-so country, everyone has inalienable rights. So that's for everybody that's in the country. You can't walk up to an illegal immigrant, shoot him in the head, and be like, oh, well, they weren't really a citizen or a green card holder, so screw them. No, there's still inalienable rights, right? And in this particular case, Echo doesn't get to be the judge, jury, and executioner. It's bad enough that she, practices vigilantism like all the other heroes, but they all walk a fine line. And we're talking about a Daredevil character here who nobody has walked a finer line than the lawyer, Matt Murdock, right? Even though they're calling Elektra Daredevil now. Whatever. Good job, Chip Zdarsky, but come on, right? The idea is that Daredevil has always walked this fine line between respectable, law-abiding citizen lawyer and street vigilante, right? It's bad enough that you've got a street character like Echo, right? A character who she's just supposed to be a champion for the deaf people. She's supposed to be the inclusion when nobody asked for it, but they gave it to us. And for the most part, we liked it, but people weren't able to write her the right way. Maybe you need to get more deaf people to write the character. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Honestly, I honestly don't know. But I can tell you this. When you take a street character like Echo and you put her in this cosmic universe, there need to be consequences because you just potentially ruined this character. This is a street-level character who now has unlimited cosmic powers like the genie from freaking Aladdin, right? Robin Williams. God rest his soul. But now you give her these superpowers. When she eventually loses these powers, because they are comics, you got to put the toys back on the shelves, right? That's the standard cadence in comic books. When you are chosen, or you ask and you're chosen to play in this particular sandbox, let's say Spider-Man sandbox, Daredevil sandbox, the Avengers sandbox, just Iron Man or Thor or Captain America sandbox, that's cool. You get to play in the sandbox. You get to take the toy off the shelf, the pristine shelf. You get to do whatever you want to do. But when you're finished, when your run is over, you need to clean your mess up and put that toy back on the shelf where you found it. Otherwise, you screwed up bad, son. Jason Aaron has proven that he's incapable of running March Step in any universe. He's incapable of doing that, Cool, whatever. If somebody think that makes him great, that's cool. But these are usually the people in school who fail, right? The people who can't follow the standard cadence, who can't march in step with everybody else. So I come from the military, where the greatest military in the world, the American military. If you say we're not, okay, well, we control everything. So there you go. It's not necessarily a good thing. I'm just saying, when you can walk lockstep, then that's when you're a soldier, not just some lone warrior who's going to go out and get yourself shot. Rambo is great in fiction. Rambo sucks in real life, right? It doesn't work in real life. And yes, I know the story of Audie Murphy. Anyway, Jason Aaron. I despise what Jason Aaron does. Everything. I'm sure he's a perfectly good person. And you guys, for the most part, know this who've been following my reviews. It's the reason why I don't review anything that Jason Aaron does, because I'm always going to hate it. It's always going to be something that's just, why did you do this? It's not that spectacular. We're not stupid kids who are just going to be wowed and awed by everything. This is nonsense. I hate saying garbage and trash, but Jason Aaron brings me closer to saying those words than anybody else. Anyway, so I see what's happening here with Echo, and I think to myself, I wonder if Echo can be salvaged. I wonder if something that Jason Aaron touches can be salvaged, right? So Rebecca Roanhorse is under a lot of scrutiny in this particular case. So far, mostly so good, right? There are consequences. She walks in, here's this building. She's going to beat up these bad guys. She accidentally sets the freaking place on fire. Oops. Even the kid can know. And kids are so perfect, you know what I'm saying? In the sense that, help, save me. Oh, wait, you're the bad guy. No, I don't want you to save me. You're just going to hurt me worse. I'll take my chances with the fire, because they're kids. They're dumb in that regard, right? And I think she did a great job with that. The firefighter instead steps in. Look, the real hero. Firefighters, right? I love that. I absolutely love that. She kills somebody and she doesn't have remorse for it. But it's brought up twice in the comic book. Well, actually 3 times. She reflects on it a little bit in the beginning. She says, well, he tried to kill me, so who cares? He's a bad guy. That's what a lot of kids think. She's being written as a kid in this, all right? Just honestly, a dumb kid. And kids, I had it, you had it, we all have it. Some of you are still in it. I know everything. I know everything that I need to know. Anything that I don't know isn't necessary to know, because when we're kids, we're not smart enough to ask the right questions to realize there's a much larger world out there, and we do need to learn from other people. The term mansplained is brought in here in relation to Forge. I know Forge has been jobbed out, and now he's just some idiot. He's not some super brilliant, amazing individual with sagely wisdom who is the chosen one to stop adversary and all that stuff. I know, nowadays he's just a big joke. Whatever. I hate that he was kind of played as a joke in here. I hate that he was played as some impatient jackass in here. And I hate that the term mansplained was used with him or with anybody. She was about to go to an old man and listen. Would he be mansplaining? I hate that term. It's such a stupid term to just get rid of sagely wisdom. Old people who have been there and done that. You know what I'm saying? Millennials nowadays, you're considered old. I'm Gen X. You know what I'm saying? I'm considered super old, right? Boomers, they're almost gone. Boomers are almost gone. But you know what? Like, there's a lot of people who actually have a lot of wisdom. And to just say mansplain, it's such a cop-out. And there was no explanation for that. You know, go to some old Native American indigenous chief, right? The indigenous chief of the Chippewa, right? Who smudged me and brought me in as a part of their tribe with my Cherokee background and whatnot. And he started talking to me unbidden. I didn't ask for him to start, blah, 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 blah. I didn't even, it was uninitiated. I didn't ask to be brought into the tribe, right? It was something, it was unasked, unrequested. It was simply done. When that guy was, talking about the greatness of the tribe and what it means, how I should act and blah, 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 blah. Did I even for one moment think, this guy's mansplaining? Like, it's such a stupid, childish thing. It's such a stupid, childish word to use, right? I hope that we get more context in this. I hope that Rebecca Roanhorse is able to use Forge in a better way in the next 4 issues, right? At some point, Echo comes to actually accept him as a mentor, because otherwise, we're talking about the hero's journey here, right? Are we going to say that Dumbledore and Gandalf and Obi-Wan Kenobi are all mansplainers? I mean, come on, right? So these kinds of things are so dumb to hear. Morpheus comes up, Neo, you're the one. Well, stop mansplaining, bro. So stupid. So I hope that Echo does come to a little bit of realization. Echo's a newer character who you can actually have some character development with, right? The second time she noticed that she killed somebody was when Elektra said something, and she defends it, which right away was a little bit annoying to me. But I'm hoping that if we keep going with the comic book, she will come to the realization, yeah, this was dumb. Here's Elektra, a girl, she was trying to chick-splain, you know what I'm saying, woman-splain. I hope that she comes to a realization that these are all wizened people who can teach me, who can further develop me into me, help me realize, fully who I am. This is somebody who I'm familiar with. And she didn't want to take that advice. This is what kids do. They don't want to take the advice of older people. They don't want to accept a mentor, which is one of those things that, I'm sorry, like if you're a man who didn't want to go to college, and I've done both. I've gone to college, but not university per se. There are times when you come across that mentor character who will teach you, take you under their wing and show you, like, whether with me it was electronics, but it could be with anything, carpentry, welding, anything. When someone outside of your family, preferably, takes you under their wing and starts teaching you, and they've got nothing to gain by it except that I'm passing on something to somebody. It's an incredible experience, and you learn more from that than anything. Maybe you were really good in school and you had a teacher at university or high school or whatever who took you under their wing and you were able to hang out and talk with them. Maybe it was a preacher, right? And not, the molesting kind. I'm talking about like for real, just somebody who, like you got, like, case in point, Matt Murdock's stick with Matt Murdock. You know what I'm saying? Or the reverend that he goes to give confession, right? Mentors who guide you on their path to make you into a better human being, right? That's something that men need to become fully realized. For me, mostly it was a sensei, you know what I'm saying? Who just, boom, take me under his wing and just teach me things, and life lessons spring from that. It's a really great experience. That's the hero's journey that Joseph Campbell talked about so much. That is the hero's journey. That's the thing that's going to get you all of a sudden, boom, I'm good, I'm golden, let's go. I hope that that's what we're seeing here with Echo, and she's denying that, because that's what the hero is supposed to do at first, right? Rebecca Roanhorse could potentially be telling us one of the best stories ever and doing something incredible with a Jason Aaron storyline, right? I don't need to see her growing up to suddenly turn around and beat Namor. That's not what I need to see. What I need to see is her accepting and understanding what Namor was doing, whatever the hell he was doing. I didn't read that comic book. But recognizing that if the Phoenix chose you, it's because it knew that you were corruptible. It knew that you were malleable, that you were somebody who I can do things with. The third time that she mentions that she killed somebody is something I'm going to let you act, because that was too close to the end of the comic book. And I do want you to read this comic book. I do recommend reading this issue of the comic book. I can't tell you if issue 2 is going to be any good or if issue 5 is going to stick the landing. I can't tell you if there's going to be a great climax in issue 4 that makes me go, oh, with this cliffhanger. I can't tell you any of that stuff, right? Because I'm not there yet. This comic book just came out for me yesterday. But what I can tell you is right now there's the potential for really great stuff. Or she could completely screw this up and just make Echo as irrelevant as she's always been, in which case nothing's changed. And Jason Aaron, good job. You've continued screwing up the Marvel Universe, having zero consistency in a franchise. And just whatever, it is what it is. And I don't want to touch or see anything that Jason Aaron has had his grubby little hands on, right? If Rebecca Roanhorse can turn this into a great comic book, into Echo actually being a character who we want to see more of, instead of just, she's deaf, so she's crippled, or, handicap, she's handy capable, right? Oh, SJW stuff. If she could turn her to something who's more than just the I feel sorry for her, or a few people can identify with her type of character, then Rebecca Roanhorse will have done an incredible job. We get introduced to a new character in here also who has superpowers and may actually become somebody important. If Rebecca could do something like that also, this could be the series that suddenly we say, hey, Rebecca Roanhorse is on this new miniseries. She's on this one shot. She's on this new run. I got to read it because she knows how to write a good story. that she's got the potential to turn this into something amazing, an actual hero's journey in a comic book with a, for the most part, established character and in a very established franchise, the Marvel Universe. This could wind up being really great. So we're on the ground floor seeing this right now. Let's see what happens in the future. Guys, that's it for me. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.